everyone, it's Miss Katie or Mrs. Proctor. You have been working so hard and we are so proud of you and so thankful that you are working so hard. We've done a lot of stuff like running and jumping and hopping. So what we thought we could do from Mrs. Huppy or Miss Tracy and Miss Lee or Mrs. Murphy, we thought that we would add some throwing stuff in this week and shake it up a little bit. So this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna practice catching, we're gonna practice overhand throwing, we're gonna practice underhand throwing, and then we're gonna practice rolling. So it is hard sometimes to come up with different materials or activities to do these things because you usually need a ball to do any of them. And sometimes when you're 3, you don't really care to throw. So we're trying to come up with ways that you might have stuff at home that you could practice these things in and make it a little bit interesting. And we were hoping if you could do at least 30. So you could mix it up a little bit. You could do 10 catches, 10 overhand throws, and then rolling, 10 rolls. Or you could do 15 and 15 one day and 15 and 15 another day. Making it more fun and not hopefully challenging, but just to go outside when it's nice weather and here let's catch 15 times or let's throw. So to start, I wanted to give ideas on what would be the best things to throw with. So obviously I'm gonna show you, see if I can take this a little bit closer. So these are my demonstration packets. So for catching, a bigger ball is usually a little bit easier. If you have a smaller ball, that also works. The smallest type of ball, the tiniest ones, are gonna be the hardest. So if you have tiny balls, absolutely okay to try, but it's gonna be really hard. So for those of us that don't have a ball, we can usually find, hopefully, in our house, we can find a pair of socks. So what I did is, if we don't have a ball at all, absolutely okay. So these are 2 actually really big socks. And I just bunched them up to the best of my ability and made a little sock ball. So let's say you don't have any big socks, like say you don't want to use socks. The other thing you can do is you could take a piece of paper, scrap paper, any mail that you get you don't like, and you can crumple it up. It's not the best because it's really light and it's tiny, right? So the bigger, easier to catch. But if this is all you have, that's all you have, and we're gonna make it work. All right, so I am gonna first do catching. That was on the list. And we'll use our socks, and we'll talk about, can you see my, let me use the ball, because it's hard to see the socks with my black shirt. So when you catch, you're gonna gently, I'm gonna first, when mom or dad or whomever's at home is throwing, it's usually a very gentle underhand toss, and you're trying to get it right to the kiddo. You're trying to make it pretty easy. So just a nice, gentle underhand toss to them. Now, when they're catching, you're trying to get them, if they're having a hard time catching, you're trying to get them to corral it into their body. So you can throw it back. So you're using everything. You're using your chest, you're using your arms and your hands, and you're trying to make it really safe for the ball, and you're letting it kind of come right to you. For those that can do a really good job catching, once you start doing a really good job, you say, can you catch it with just your hands? So once they can start to catch it with just their hands, they're really working hard on their hand-eye coordination, and they're not having to use their body as much. Now, if they're able to catch with their hands, and they're doing a really great job, the next thing you want to do is, hey, can you back up? So the further away you are, and if we have a good pass, the further away you are, the harder it is going to catch. So again, if you can catch 15 times, that is awesome. So now, we're gonna do overhand throwing. So overhand throwing is So the overhand throwing, let's see if you can, I'll try to demonstrate. When we overhand throw, you want to put your ball up to your ear, and how we teach it is you are going to point at what you're throwing at. Then you're going to step with your opposite leg, and then keeping your arm up, you're going to try to throw. So how we usually cue the kiddos is we say step, or we say point, step, throw. And that starts to teach them the early stages of opposition, which is always stepping with your opposite foot. So when, I'm gonna see if I can, thank you Caleb for your help. So I don't know if you can see my little, I went and used toilet, paper towel rolls and then some recyclable stuff. And usually if you can give kids something to aim for that knocks it over, if they can knock something over, they're gonna be a heck of a lot more excited to do it. So what you would do is you would say point, step, and throw. And see how much they can get over. Usually too, if we're at school, we might say, okay, let's run really fast and pick it up, and then let's run back so you can get some motor stuff in it too. But again, what we're teaching is the step, point, throw, or point, step, throw. So that is overhand throwing. If you don't have any stuff or you don't want to use, the other thing that we can do is if you have something on the wall, like that Patriot sign, we have that sign, you can also just try to have them aim for that. So point, step, throw, and have them hit the Patriot sign. Again, if you can get outside, you could do anything. Get a tree, get a rock. You could even get acorns and just have them throw the acorns as long as they're doing their step, point, throw. So underhand throwing, is the same exact steps. I'm trying to just get something on the ground. So I put a hula hoop on the ground. If you can see the hula hoop. You can also, if you're able to get outside, you could make a circle on the chalk. You could, anything that they can aim for is ideal because it gives some motivation. Like, oh, let's see how far. You can even see how far you can throw it. So the underhand, again, is the same exact steps, except you're doing point, step, opposite leg, and then you're trying to keep that elbow straight, and you're gonna come back and throw it this way, and you gotta release it when it's at the top. So you do point, step, throw. And again, if you have a target on the ground, you would just do point, step, throw, and then run, 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 run. Let's see as fast as you can. Run it and come back to me. So again, if you can do 10 of those, 15 of those, whatever you can do, that would be underhand throwing. The last thing is rolling, and it's the same exact steps. I'm gonna see, can you video me? Let's see.
No, I'm eating, I can't.
So I set up, let's see if I can show you. I set up these cups. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time figuring out what I'm looking at. There we go. So these cups, and it's like bowling pins. So again, kids really like to knock things over. And when we bowl, it's the same steps. It's step, point, and then roll. So I'm gonna see if I can get it so I can show you. So again, you have it just like underhand throwing. You point, step, and then you're gonna roll and try to knock over the cones. So I was able to knock over a couple cups. And, like my son just said, that'd be really cool if there was water in the cups. So if you're outside and you're able to fill stuff up, you could even do fun stuff, like put food coloring in the water and see how much they can spill. But the rolling is the same steps. You just really want to see if they can get it low to the ground when they do it. So you want to try to, you don't want to let them just do it like an underhand throw. You want to try to get them low and have it roll right on the ground. Good luck. I love catching and throwing with my kiddos and with your kiddos at school. So I wish you the best of luck. I think it's a really fun activity to do outside, hopefully. And if you have enough space, you could certainly do the rolling back and forth. Could even pretend to have them knock you over with their ball. Ah. But have fun. We miss you all. And we hope this is a different activity that you can have fun with.